Many have been struggling with mental health during the pandemic, even more so in underserved communities, as we've been reporting. New York City recently held a mental health innovation challenge, looking for ways really to improve services in communities like Inwood and Washington Heights.
Yeah, two companies were given $20,000 to continue their efforts, including a startup comic book company that caters to providing resources to help remove the stigma around mental health issues.
So here to tell us more is creative director of Me, Myself, and I, Chris Walker. Good morning to you, Chris. How you doing?
Morning, how are you?
Doing well, thank you, sir. Thanks for being here to talk about this. So explain to us about being part of this initiative really towards helping teens in the Black and brown community. Why you thought it's such an important thing for you to be part of?
Definitely. I think, whenever you think about what's happening in underserved communities, mental health has definitely been an issue. So the goal is to use, they say in mental health practices, meet them where they're at. And so after talking to some friends and attending a conference, I was like, well, if you want to talk to teenagers, especially Black and brown, I think comics is the way.
All right. Well, let's talk about the inspiration between the Me, Myself, and I and how that has become the way for you.
Yeah. So I think, whenever we say the word me, myself, and I, it makes me instantly have that internal reflection. And I think one of the things that comics does really well is have that internal dialogue. If you've ever read comics or been a comic book fan, that's a big part of comics. And so one of the things that we've been really interested in is having that conversation be externalized and seeing comics as part of this way that you can have an open conversation about what's happening with your mental health and mental wellness.
Yeah, and I like that you're focusing on that. The Me, Myself, and I is so important because you have to have that conversation and accept it first before you can really talk to somebody else, right? And realize that there's such an issue here. I'm glad you're making this part of your initiative here. But why do you believe that mental health is such a difficult topic to discuss, specifically in Latinx communities?
Right. So a part of the team that we have people who come from mental health practices as well as social work. There's, in minority communities, especially immigrant communities, mental health still has a stigma. So in particular, Latinx, that conversation isn't always had. And one of the things that we talked about is whenever you think about mental health, there are ways that traditional communities have had them. It maybe isn't called mental health, but those conversations around dinner, that talking about what's happening, and what we're wanting to do is to kind of reframe that and say that this is all part of your mental health and that journey to make sure that you're always having, a positive mental health.
We hear that you guys will be releasing a style comic book called Hero Next Door. What is that all about?
Yeah, we're really excited about that. That was part of the NYCX Co Labs challenge. We've been working a lot with Thrive NYC. We've done some things with New York Public Library. And so as part of that relationship, they sent over the challenge and we got super excited. And so it's really the story of a superhero who is dealing with their own mental health as they're helping to save their neighborhood and think about what's happening. And so we thought that was an interesting way to have teens talk about what's happening with them and explore it. I think one of the things we're focused on is, we're not necessarily care, but what we are is helping that early conversation, right? Like, oh, I feel this way.
Right.
Maybe this isn't just a regular way I feel. Maybe there's something else going on.
When's it expected to roll out?
I believe it's about 3 months of development. So I think sometime in June. As a creative director, you have to ask my project manager.
Yeah.
As he keeps up with all the dates. I'm really focused on, making sure the art and the writers are there. But we've got about 3 months of development time. It'll come live in Messenger app.
Okay.
And so it's powered by chatbot. So it's a choose your own adventure and we chose that because we know teenagers are on smartphones.
Oh, that's so true. Meet them where they are.
Exactly.
You're walking that
so
walk.
Then they can have that adventure. Yeah, exactly.
Chris, this is so fantastic. I love the way that you talk and inspire young people. And the artistry is so beautiful in this comic book and the many of them that you're creating. So thanks for sharing some time with us.
No problem. Nice to meet everyone.
Yes,
right back at you. All right, there it is. Me, Myself, and I. We're going to have details on pix11.com. We'll be right back.